Okay, number one, this girl is a walking hypocrisy. She's a walking hypocrisy, right? I want privacy, show me off. Don't show my kids. Here are my kids. This is who she is. So this doesn't shock me at all that she's like, I don't want people to, talk about me. Let me be in a movie as
Wait, but
myself.
hi, all. I'm Kinsey Schofield here with Daily Dose of Donna's Donna Bowling, former casting director, current pop culture connoisseur. If anyone has their finger on the pulse of Hollywood, it's Donna. So, who better to help us take Harry and Meghan's temperature in La La Land today? Now, Donna, I'm sure you've seen the headlines. Prince Harry is expected back in the UK next week, and there's still plenty of speculation over whether Meghan Markle will join him. If she does, it would mark a significant moment after years of keeping her distance from Britain and slandering them in TV shows and interviews and all that she's done. At the same time, questions continue to swirl about Harry and Meghan's standing in Hollywood, where several high-profile projects have stalled while others have yet to materialize. So today, we're asking, where do the Sussexes stand, and how are they viewed inside the entertainment industry? Is their return to the UK a last-ditch effort to salvage their brand? And I want to start by asking you, what is your reaction to Prince Harry's tug of war about security? Harry Styles just played 12 sold out shows at Wembley Stadium and was seen every day casually jogging to the stadium from his home. One, if not the biggest male pop stars in the world, is not asking for armed guards. He feels safe in the UK. What do you think when you hear that comparison to Harry's?
Well, here's my question. You were just recently in the UK. What in general do you feel like the people there feel about him? Like, what's the overarching conversation when it comes to
Lost
Harry? Because
soul.
lost soul.
Mhm.
But are they coming at him with like anger? Are they mad at him? Are they like, does he truly have something to worry about with someone turning on him and God forbid something security? Because that would be different. But I don't get that feeling. I feel like if anything, they're almost sad about it or feel bad for him, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's no anger. To your point, it's not like that mother. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's like, wow, he's really led by the you know what, and he owes us an apology. He owes his family an apology. I mean, British people are so polite. He should apologize. Is really what I heard the most, and then. The reason he's been turned down is because Ravik has intel that tells them that he's safe. There's no way that if they had any intelligence that stressed that he was in jeopardy or his wife or children were in jeopardy, there's no way they wouldn't provide that security. It's Harry's ego wanting what his brother has, wanting to feel, he was complaining one of the last times he was in the UK that because he didn't have that motorcade that you get with this high profile security, he was late to several engagements. Honey, leave 15 minutes early. We live in Los Angeles. Like, we know the drill.
Yeah.
So I think it's about ego, really. And feeling, it's about feeling like spare, the title of spare, feeling like he's not getting something that his brother has. And I just like, that's not a healthy mindset to be in constantly.
Well, it feels almost like projection. Like he thinks he's more of a threat or he's in more of a precarious situation than other people. It's like people obviously are obsessed with Harry and they talk about him and like there's so much press around it even if people don't like him or whatever. But the point is that no one I don't think cares as much about him maybe than he thinks that they do in that moment. Um you're right. They would never turn down the security if they thought it was a real threat. They have taken the temperature. They recognize that he is just an average, normal celebrity, like just
Mhm.
like a Harry Styles. Harry Styles running through the streets on his way to his shows every night, which I didn't know about, makes him so much more likable too.
Mhm.
Let Prince Harry or whatever his last, whatever we're calling him these days, let him, be amongst the people a little more and not in a motorcade. If he's trying to build his likability in any way, this ain't the way.
Yeah. And Harry Styles wears his own merch. Is that not the cutest thing you've ever heard?
Harry Styles is so cute.
He's so cute. I freaking love him. But yeah, when I heard that, because there were all these comparisons. Well, why does Taylor Swift get this armed security? Well, because she had to cancel a bunch of shows prior to her London show because there were legitimate threats, because there was a terror attack on an Ariana Grande concert in the United Kingdom. The two don't compare. Taylor Swift is bringing in millions of dollars to the economy. Prince Harry is there for a PR boost. The two just simply do not compare. So when I saw the Harry Styles story, I was like, get out. This
Yeah.
is hilarious.
Does Harry walk around with armed security everywhere he goes in America?
I don't, we see him surfing, we see him walking the dog and riding his bike. Now, when he's riding his bike, he does have somebody following him in a car.
Okay.
Are they armed? I'm not so sure. But we don't really see Harry out and about that much. He is kind of an introvert. So, and then the example he uses when it comes to why he needs security in the UK is a fan that he like loves him. That, I mean, I'm not promoting this, but it's a fan that has pictures with Meghan all over her social media. And it's like, well, that's an odd example to use. Somebody that is like clearly a fan that supports you.
So he's given that example of why he feels he needs. Okay, so look, there's a difference between fans. We've all seen rabid fans. I mean, we grew up in the New Kids on the Block era where people were literally taking off their bras and throwing them onto streets, you know?
Yeah, Donnie
So
Wahlberg, I'd like my bra back, Donnie.
oh, it was you. So I feel like we understand this idea of rabid fans. And we also understand, and Kinsey, I'm sure you've had situations like this too, the parasocial relationships with fans where they feel like they know you,
Yeah.
they really do believe that they are in your life every day and that but that's different than a stalker, a scary, aggressive stalker like those that show up outside of Jennifer Aniston's home in the middle of the night or, whatever it is. Sabrina Carpenter just had a big case about that. So there's a big difference, I think, between what is like, I'm obsessed with you, oh my God, versus I want to,
I'm going to
take
crawl
off your
into bed with
skin.
you. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to crawl into bed with you while you're unconscious. Totally.
Exactly. And I want to wear your body on top of mine.
Yeah, that I agree with that. I pulled together some questions specifically about books to movies for you because you have
Mm.
a new book Instagram. Tell me about your new book Instagram.
Well, I'm obsessed with reading, like, and I always was when I was a kid.
We love smart
I
girls.
hot girls read. When I was a kid, I used to go to bookstores like candy stores, and I seriously still get that kind of excitement around books because I think there's something really lovely about just escaping into fiction. And Carly Fortune, which we'll talk about, she's actually one of my favorite authors. But it's in the age of social media now, and how honestly toxic it can be. I noticed in 2026, like I made a goal to start really reading because it is so important for your mental health to shut your phone down and open stories and just like allow yourself to go into that. So, yeah, I have a book club and everything. I love it.
All right, tell us the handle of your Instagram so people can follow your book Instagram.
It's Donna's Book List, Dana, Donna's Book List. And we have a book club right now. We're reading It's Not Her by Mary Kubica. We do thrillers, we do memoirs. I'm just about to start Dave Portnoy's book.
Ooh,
Very interested.
that'll be really good. I mean, I know some people don't like it, but he makes me laugh.
I love him. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not, I never agree with 100% of what he says, but I mean, I agree with a lot of what he says, but
Yeah.
no one you can agree with 100%. But his stories are just fascinating. Like, he actually has a very interesting life, unlike a lot of other memoirs that we've read.
Right.
before.
Self-made person. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to uncover, discover about him. So
I
I
wonder
don't
what
know.
his thoughts are on Harry.
Oh, he can't stand Harry and Meghan, but maybe I'll read that book too, so we can have a debrief on
Yeah.
that. All right, so let's talk about Harry and Meghan and Carly Fortune. Amazon announced it was adapting Carly Fortune's Every Summer After into a television series back in July of 2024. In less than 2 years later, the show has premiered, found an audience. I loved it. And now they've already greenlit a second season. Harry and Meghan announced that they had acquired the rights to Carly Fortune's Meet Me at the Lake back in August of 2023 They said at the time that Netflix spent $3 million on that. And here we are nearly 3 years later. There have been no meaningful production updates. From a Hollywood perspective, does that kind of timeline signal development trouble? Amazon announces it in 2024. It's already on the screen. Hell, they're bringing us season 2. Harry and Meghan announced in 2023. Crickets. That doesn't, I mean, if I'm Carly Fortune, I'm going, what the hell, guys?
Yeah, it's dead in the water. There's no question. I mean, a lot of people out there have their books optioned
Mhm.
to develop into a series or a movie, and it goes nowhere. So, where is that problem? The book itself is beautiful. Carly Fortune is highly marketable. May I even say that Carly Fortune could be like this year's, Colleen Hoover of It
Oh,
Ends With Us years, like
yeah.
she is that summer read. She's up there with the Frida McFaddens of the authors that everyone on Book Talk talks about. So
Mhm.
it's not that they don't have a good base, but I find it really fascinating. And maybe it's because Amazon Prime swooped in and took that other book that now Netflix is like, I don't want to touch that. Like it feels like we are almost copying what Amazon already did. But of course Harry and Meghan, or Meghan is behind this. Like of
Yeah.
course it is. So I think a lot of times these things run out, like the options expire after a certain amount of years if you're not able to get it off and running.
Oh,
And
wow.
then maybe Carly will be able to take it somewhere else. But it could be, I doubt it because Netflix is constantly creating new content. I was going to say it could be a Netflix decision. It could be a Harry and Meghan just not doing what they need to be doing. Maybe there's no chemistry there. They don't want to work together.
Right. They went through multiple producers before they actually delivered the Harry and Meghan docuseries, which has been
Mm,
their only commercial success. That
mm,
6-part Harry and Meghan docuseries at Netflix, and then Live to Lead was somebody else's footage, was somebody else's show, and then Harry and Meghan swooped in and stamped the producer titles on there. I think that you throw some money at a project, and that's how you can add your name as a producer. So there really is no proof that they're capable of doing anything other than that one docu series that did go through multiple producers. Harry and Meghan have announced several scripted projects over the past few years. Meet Me at the Lake, an adaptation of The Wedding Date. I'm curious to know if you've read that, and a
mm.
film based on the Afghanistan war memoir, No Way Out. Yet there have been very few production updates on any of these three. They're all at a standstill. From an industry perspective, does this create the impression that they're taking on more projects than they can realistically execute?
Absolutely. I mean, we all know if you work in this business, like the hardest thing in the world is getting the project made. It's
Mm,
easy to get it greenlit, it's easy to get it signed. Not easy because so many people can't do it. But if you have a name and if you're invested, if you have money, if you have all those things, like it's very easy to say, yeah, yes, 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 yes. But then it's the execution. Execution is everything when it comes to this business and every business, to be honest. So, do I feel like Harry and Meghan are very big on just like, checking off a box? Yes, yes. And then, but there's actual work that needs to be done behind the scenes. You actually have to take it through the steps. So, what is that? Are they not able to find good writers behind these projects? Are they not able to find producers that they really kind of vibe with and connect and are willing to take, what they have to say seriously and vice versa? There's a million reasons. I just always say when there's smoke, there's fire. And there's so much smoke around Meghan Markle and the lack of projects being completed well.
right. Yeah.
So you have to question that.
The return on investment, I think, is something that if you are a Netflix or a Spotify, now they have the analytics to prove whether they were worth it. But when they first stepped down as working royals and everybody just wanted the story, and the analytics didn't exist yet, yeah, a lot of people threw money at them. But it does feel like Hollywood well, I think Hollywood doesn't have the money that they had during the pandemic. And I also think that maybe they've learned that the return on investment just might not be there for the Sussexes. Um, but how difficult is it to, because these are sacred books to you? Like these, you can think back on that character or that storyline and go, oh, I remember sitting on the beach in Destin, Florida, and it was the greatest book. It was the greatest summer. Is it hard to take a book and turn it into a television show or a movie? Might they be working under some sort of pressure that I can't relate to because people believe that these books are so personal to people, characters
Yeah.
too?
I mean, I think that you can nail it or you can fail it. And honestly, unlike you, every summer after that book, I mean, what was it? Was it called Every Year After on
Yeah, it was
Amazon
called
Prime?
Every Year After, and I haven't read the book yet, so I'm
Okay.
coming at it from a I just, oh, look, cute boys perspective. I haven't read the book yet.
So I think that if you have read the books and
You
love the
hate it?
books, you're going to be disappointed with it. I didn't even try to watch it because I loved the books so much, and I just finished actually the second in the series just like 2 weeks ago. It was so good. And then everyone said, if you love these books, do not watch this. You're going to be so upset. You're going to be so devastated. I think there's a big connection that these people have towards their books. Actually, the book world is so marketable. There's so much attention and money around the book world, and people take it really seriously. So, like Heated Rivalry, for example, was expertly done from what I heard. I haven't read the book, but I hear it was done perfectly. Then you have Perfect Couple that was done an Hildebrand book that was done, I believe, for Hulu, and it was a series, and people were not happy with that. We
Mm-hmm.
have the 5-year plan, which is coming out on July 9th, and that's with Jennifer Garner, and I believe it's also Hulu, another Ellen Hildebrand series. People are very nervous and excited because you want to believe that the stories you see are what you pictured in your mind.
Yeah, that's
That being
hard.
said, it happens so often where people are disappointed because nothing beats like your fantasy
Mm-hmm.
idea. So
Yeah.
casting is really important, i.e., look at Blake Lively and that miscast over in that book. And story is very important. And execution, production value, music, costumes, like the whole thing. It's a very
What really
important
drove
thing.
me crazy about the damn Blake Lively movie was, yes, I know that she was much older than she was supposed to be, but the younger her first love, the young man that they did such an epic job of casting a young Blake Lively, but the guy who's supposed to look like her first love looks nothing like the hunk that she stumbles upon in the restaurant. And it screwed me up so much throughout the whole movie because I was like, these guys don't even compare.
Oh
Did
my
the
God, that's so funny.
did someone
Everyone's
call in
so focused.
sick? Did somebody call in
It's
sick?
that is actually really funny. The young Atlas. Yeah, no one paid attention to that.
I was horrified by it. I was like, adult Atlas is delicious. Young Atlas is looks like no, like no. So that
That's
really
actually
bothered me.
so funny. Never thought of it.
Well, you were worried about some pretty high profile problems involving that movie. I'm the petty one over here.
Yeah, because I watched the movie for the first time only, and I was a big fan of the book, but I didn't care enough to see the movie until, of course, the scandal. So when I watched the movie, it was with one eye, and it was like, does Blake Lively like Justin Baldoni and want to screw him or what? That's a
Which
whole other
I
story.
which I think perhaps was the
There was
situation.
some sort of
A lot of
connection for
a
sure.
little tension there. Now, did you watch this video I sent you of Jack Quaid on a carpet asked about Meghan Markle, or do you want me to show it to you now?
Let's watch it together.
Okay, let's pull it up right here.
Close personal friends. What can you tease about working with Meghan Markle?
Yeah, no, it's insane. The main cast of it is myself, Brie Larson, Henry Golding, and Lily Collins, which is just an incredible group of people.
I talked to a body language expert about that, and I wish I could remember word for word what Scott Rouse said, but he was like, the way that he dodged that question, that man has been trained.
That
That
was an
man knows
expert.
exactly what the hell he was doing. I'd love your reaction to, we're going to talk about Meghan re-entering the Hollywood space in a second, but Jack Quaid is a sweetheart.
By the way, so cute. I
Yeah.
mean, and the fact that he's Meg and Dennis Quaid's Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid's son is so cute too.
Mhm.
I have actually not known like his career at all. So this is kind of random for me. Do you know when this was filmed, that interview?
That was in March.
Okay. So here's the takeaway that I have from never having watched the interview or watched that clip. How was it working with Meghan? He literally didn't he didn't even answer. It's not that he tried to answer it politely or say something nice or just be like, "Oh, it was phenomenal working with her. She was great."
Right.
He didn't say now, I'm curious how much she is actually in the movie. Do we know? Have we seen it? Does she have literally one line and it's not with him in a scene? Because then that would make a little more sense. But then he could say, "Oh my gosh, I love Megan. Unfortunately, we weren't even in the scene together."
Yeah.
Whatever. He pretended it wasn't even asked.
Right. He just blew right past that question. What we do know is she's making her acting return with a cameo in this new film. It's an
Cameo.
Amazon MGM comedy called Close Personal Friends. It was filmed in Pasadena, California, and the movie centers around a celebrity couple and an ordinary couple. And Jack just went into who it stars: Brie Larson, Lily Collins, Henry Golding, and himself. No release date yet. So we don't know how big her role is. But I guess, Meghan has said she was leaving acting behind, yet now she's making a cameo as herself. From the Hollywood perspective, is this simply a fun favor for friends, or could it be testing the waters for a larger return?
I'm actually curious to know more about like I see who's in the cast. Now we know who the director is, how they know Megan,
Yeah.
right? There's
I
got to
don't
be a
think that I
connection.
don't think they do. I think it's a PR stunt to generate interest in the movie, or maybe it takes place in like Santa Barbara, Montecito. So
Okay.
I
So that
do,
would make sense.
yeah, I do
That
associate her with that area.
Yeah, and since it is about a celebrity couple and an ordinary couple, clearly there's some sort of connection to like Hollywood. And what she plays when you say a cameo, she's playing herself. It's not like she's coming in as, barista number one. So what probably happens is somehow she's shopping or walking through the streets or whatever, and they run into her at a party, who knows what. Um, do I think, okay, number one, this girl is a walking hypocrisy. She's a walking hypocrisy, right? I want privacy. Show me off. Don't show my kids. Here are my kids. This is who she is. So this doesn't shock me at all that she's like, I don't want people to, talk about me. Let me be in a movie as
Wait, but
myself.
but Donna, also, I'm so sorry. People get mad at me for interrupting. It's my ADHD.
I do it too.
I love, but also, you know what just came to my mind? We're talking about her return to acting. She refused to do the Suits reboot. How do you refuse to do the Suits reboot after Suits made you? It introduced you to your husband, basically. If she weren't on Suits, she wouldn't have had access to Prince Harry. And that resurgence, like everybody was watching it after the pandemic. It was like number one on Netflix for weeks. It had been off the air for years. How do you not say thank you to the show that made you by popping up for 3 seconds in the Suits reboot?
She said no to just a cameo moment, like just a little guest star moment, not a whole series. Because I was going to say, series regular does make sense. Like that is a lot of work, and you have to be in LA and not in Santa Barbara, and it would uproot the family, whatever. I can see that she doesn't need the money. But just to pop in as a co-star, guest star, 5 seconds here and there, that is very strange. And my only thought is that there's got to be some bad blood maybe somewhere. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I just go back to thinking about how many times, you work on a set with someone and you're forced to pretend like everything's fine after, but maybe there was some actual weirdness. Maybe she felt like she wasn't going to be treated, in a positive way. I don't know. Maybe
Well,
there was.
I think she thinks that she's too good because she was 6 on the call sheet at Suits and had to ask people higher up on the call sheet to help her secure a car that would take her from her house to the set. She complained she wanted a private car and security to take her from her townhome to the set. So she rallied some of the her co-stars that were higher up. So I feel like she always felt like she was better than she was treated on the show. But I think that continues to be Harry and Meghan's problem, that they are way too self-important. They think that they're way more important than they are.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but because they are not, I can't tell you off the top of my head everyone that was in Suits, but I can tell you that it was, Meghan Markle was one of them. whether or not we love them or hate them, they are more famous technically than a lot of the other actors that were on those shows. But that's the problem. It's like going back to your high school reunion and expecting to be homecoming queen when you were a nobody in high school. Like, just because you're successful now doesn't mean that you go back to like old roots and be treated that way. To them, she's still just Meghan. She's not Meghan, Prince
Duchess
Harry's
of
or whatever.
Sussex. Yeah.
Yeah, Duchess of Sussex and related to the royal family and Harry's wife. Like, she's just Meghan. She's just a girl that auditioned for a role, struggled to pay her bills probably half the seasons, and got a job. It reminds me of like the Disney stars, right? I worked with so many Disney stars when I was casting, back in the day. And you see as they've gotten more and more famous, like take Zendaya, take any of them, the Selenas of the world, or just Zoe Deutsch right now is like a really big name because she's the lead in that new movie that is phenomenal. Voicemails for Isabel. I know Zoe because I cast her when she was 16 on her first job.
Wait, did you cast her on the CW show with Sarah Michelle Gellar?
No, I cast her on Sweet Life. Sweet Life on Deck.
Oh my God.
So she played Dylan Sprouse's girlfriend.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh my God, she was so cute. And yeah, she's a Nepo baby. I mean, she does come from Leah Thompson is her mom from Back to the Future, and she has a director dad, but she auditioned just like anyone else. But now she's getting a really, really big moment because of this. And I posted about the movie the other day, and she commented on it, and she was like, I will never forget you giving me my first job. Like, I will always remember that. I'm always forever grateful. That's the kind of humility that will make Zoe so successful. She's so likable. You've never heard a bad word about her as an actress or as a person. Meghan doesn't have that. I guarantee you Meghan has never gone to the casting director of Suits and been like, I can't tell you how grateful I am for you giving me this opportunity. Like, she probably never did.
No, I totally agree with you. Well, if we pivot back to this new Amazon movie, if you were still casting today, would a cameo like this generate excitement in Hollywood, or is it more of a publicity stunt than a career move?
If anything, it would make people. God, I don't even think Meghan Markle's that like interesting of a cameo. I think Alex Earl would be more interesting as a cameo, like someone that's actually relevant with the young people. Like Meghan is so, unless you're playing it off like, oh my God, we're meeting Meghan Markle and it's a whole thing about her and, the joke of it kind of behind the scenes, which she would never sign on for.
She does not do self-deprecating humor.
She doesn't even have a sense of humor, I don't think.
No.
She's still looking for that somewhere. She's looking for that somewhere like she's looking for her next Netflix deal. But I do think that she is, look, it's making people talk about it, I guess. We would never talk about this movie if not for this in this moment. Will it draw so much more attention? Probably not.
No. And you know what? I will watch it because I love Jack Quaid and I love Lily Collins. I love Lily Collins. But I would
and it sounds cute, actually, like the idea, the premise.
But I would never watch it for Meghan Markle. Like I will get hooked because I love Jack Quaid and I love Lily Collins, and that is the only reason I will watch this film.
But that's how celebrity cameos work, by the way. And this was like such an issue with casting. They always wanted stunt casting. So it's called stunt casting when you bring in someone of a higher nature, offer only, you give them a certain amount of money. We had like a set budget for stunt casting for our Disney shows, Nickelodeon, ABC, Fox. I mean, this was always how it was. And that's that moment where that person walks in and everyone's like, whoa, in the sitcom audience, like they freak out. It is done usually as a favor. It's done for some sort of like ratings boost, network boost. It never would make me want to see a movie. I would never go to a movie or a TV show specifically just to see that one little like moment of a celebrity walking through. That's feels very outdated.
Yeah, it does. Like Brad Pitt on Friends. I would watch that. But this can't
back
compare.
then it was kind of the biggest deal ever
This
because
can't compare. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like before social media, before you got to see him out in the wild on Dumois every day. Like it was like, whoa, Brad Pitt's doing a sitcom with Jennifer Aniston. Like, like that was such a big deal. It was so different then.
Oh my gosh, remember when Julia Roberts told Matthew Perry, I will only do it if you'll take me out? and they started
Oh my
dating.
God, yes, that was in his book, right?
Yeah, how sweet.
So sweet.
Is it interesting that this is an Amazon MGM film while Harry and Meghan's biggest entertainment deal has been with Netflix? They have a new deal now, which is basically pick and choose. Like it's not the blanket, here's a huge check. We just want access to you. They're going to be pickier on what projects. Netflix is pickier on what projects they do. But do studios care about that anymore? You know, if I'm Netflix and I did give them millions of dollars and there were so many um, bombs. They're Live to Lead, Heart of Invictus. They canceled her show Pearl, and I know I'm missing another one, but they only had
With
one.
Love.
Oh God, I'm missing the biggest one with Love Meghan. If I'm Netflix, I'm thinking, why didn't you do a cameo in one of our rom-coms?
Well, that being said, like, who knows what the relationship is really like back there? I mean, I know that they're
Yeah.
smiling and loving on Ted Sarandos in front of his house, like at his
Mhm.
party, and his wife, but maybe they're feeling a little over saturated
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
Meghan. Maybe they feel like it's best that they get a break. Also, when did they film this? How many years ago? Um, she's obviously not in some sort of exclusivity contract where she's not allowed to work with other studios. But yeah, I mean, if I
Well,
were
but
Netflix, I would just want to be like, bye.
I totally agree with you, but it was also interesting to me that they never showed up on a red carpet to promote any of Netflix's projects, but they went to the premiere of the Bob Marley movie with the Paramount exec in Jamaica, and they walked that carpet, and this was still while they were under their big Netflix deal. And I'm sitting there thinking, but you can't show up to support Netflix for any of their projects, but you're at the Bob Marley movie premiere in Jamaica with Paramount?
That's so weird.
There's just no loyalty across the board. No loyalty to their family, no loyalty to their employers or their collaborators. It reeks of two self-serving individuals.
Yeah, they're like, it almost feels like a social climbing
Oh, yeah.
technique.
I totally agree with you. You went viral last year sharing that one of the most abusive fan bases turned out to be Meghan Markle's. You've experienced this personally. Well, a social media figure, and if you want to go into that, we can. If you'd rather like not go into it, I understand that too. Do you want to go into it, or do you want me to
I don't
just ask you
care.
the question? I mean, you posted that you received a Meghan Markle candle that didn't have a wick, and you were surprised by the hate that you received, and you're so sweet and funny. Like it was really kind of a comedic bit. It wasn't like, look, she doesn't have her you know what together. You were like, oh my God, how am I supposed to burn this candle? But you received a lot of hateful feedback for that.
Well, there's this one creator, I wish I knew his name, but I don't, who scours the internet, I think, for people that speak badly about Meghan or have said anything negative about Meghan, and then does like reaction videos to that. So that's what happened. I landed on that person's algorithm, and then it came in like about 2 or 3 days after my candle video. It came in like a flood where people were just calling me all kinds of names, calling out the way I looked in a negative way, about the success of my show. I got a lot of 1-star reviews on my podcast. I mean, it was like really, really intense. Almost like they sat down and they had a little meeting. Like, how do
Yeah.
we take this girl down? Because God forbid she talked about our girl's candle.
Mm.
I think that this is truly such a strange, we talked about parasocial relationships. This is like an epidemic in the social media landscape. Taylor Swift has it. Meghan Markle has it. Blake Lively has it to an extent. Candace Owens has it. Some of those, like, I'm sure some of the male singers and, pop stars have it too. I just don't talk about that as much. But if you get on the wrong side of their fan base, or if you get on their fan base and you don't have a positive opinion, they will stop at nothing to take you down. And Meghan Markle's fan base is actually the cruelest. Like, I'm used to getting it from certain people. Like if I say anything about Candace Owens or whatever, I get a lot of like, you Jew, da 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 da, mean things like that. But it feels so, okay, whatever. But this was crazy. They were talking about like the pores on my nose, it was like wild. It was really intense. I hope your kids, da da da, like
Oh
bringing
my
in my
God.
children.
Oh my God.
it just seems so strange. This woman, Meghan, her persona online is of kindness, spread
Live, laugh,
kindness,
love.
love.
Yeah.
You know, like make granola, like life is good. Pick your flowers, drink wine, enjoy. She's not like, at least when I say Candace Owens, I hate to keep bringing her up, but when I say Candace Owens does come with a lot of vitriol on her shows. She's angry. Like it kind of tracks more.
Right.
But Meghan doesn't want to be seen as the girl that promotes abuse
Well,
online.
I don't know, because Meghan's actions contradict her words. You don't sit down with Oprah and, in my opinion, lie about the royal family being racist. You're stirring the pot when you do that. You know what, when you say there were conversations about my child's skin color, which she's never brought the receipts, they've never explained themselves. In fact, Harry backtracked later and said, we never said the royal family was racist. The media did. Like, her words don't match her actions. When you sit down with Bloomberg and say, oh, I finally feel like I have a voice, you're insinuating that the royal family
You never had a voice.
duct tape across your mouth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I get what you're saying. The brand she's trying to sell us doesn't match the audience that is attracted to her. But I think her actions attract the audience that is attracted to her, because she cultivated an audience through the she's saying this stuff about racism at the height of the George Floyd riots.
She knew what she was doing.
Exactly. And so I do think that her actions have attracted a certain type of fan base, and that does match. But I understand that it contradicts her words or the brand she's trying to sell, which is why I think nobody's buying As Ever, because they're like, you're not farting rainbows and sunshine. You're not, that's not who you truly are.
Yeah, like when the cameras turn off, does that big smile shut off as well? I do think that, when you play victim consistently, which I think she has for so many years, when you play the victim, your fans want to protect you.
Yeah.
And they truly, like, they will go to task, which is another Taylor Swift issue. Love her or hate her, this girl knows how to turn people against her enemies by writing songs about how hurt she was by them, even if it was like a boyfriend, right? Jake Gyllenhaal in that All Too Well, but against anyone that screwed her over. Look at how Scooter Braun's life completely turned around because he made a good business decision, because she turned her fans against them by saying, look what he did to me. Look how he ruined me. And this is a Meghan, like, 101.
Playbook, yeah.
How could you do this to me? How could they do this to me? Okay, go.
Yeah. Yeah. But I want to see the king summer of 2026 for some reason.
Do you really think that she wants to go back? Like, why would she ever? How would that benefit for her? Unless she truly just went to them like, I am so sorry. I
don't think she wants to. I think she has to, because she has such a bad reputation and she needs that proximity to the royal family so that she can continue to play Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. I mean, at some point we're going to be like, you're not the Duchess of anything. You live in Montecito. But if she continues to be near the royal family, she kind of continues to look like a royal. So, well, not in my book, but perception is reality. And if, some junior journalist at ABC that runs a social media account knows that Meghan was with King Charles over the weekend, they're going to write up whatever, about Meghan being a duchess. So I think that if she does, it's admission of failure. It's admission that none of her projects have turned out the way that they wanted them to. Financially, they're in dire need, and they need that royal sparkle to survive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it does make sense that, like, they just need those photo ops. They need a couple moments just to start over again. But I don't think the majority of the world is as stupid as she wants them to be.
She does. She wants us to be. I want to ask you quickly before I let you go about the social media harassment. Over the week, we have seen a social media figure who's repeatedly spread false and highly abusive content about Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and her family, even her children, online. She's reportedly been invited to an Invictus event Prince Harry is expected to attend next week in the UK. If a public figure campaigns against online bullying, which is something we haven't even addressed, that Meghan has all of these hateful followers, yet literally campaigns against online bullying and has tried to make it one of her main platforms. If a public figure campaigns against this, but is seen welcoming or rewarding someone with that kind of online history, what does that do to the credibility of their brand?
Obviously, like I said, the queen of hypocrisy, everything she does is opposite what you think she should do. But it all is in like the eyes of the beholder, because her fans will never really see that for what it is. They will always look at it as there's a reason behind it and it makes sense. But
well, they also don't think that what they're doing is wrong, obviously.
yeah. Yeah, clearly they're open to bringing those people into their circles. They don't look at them as the enemy. You can say like put your enemies closer, but that's obviously not the case. You wouldn't invite them in, which is very indicative. Like you're okay with someone out there bullying your sister-in-law. If you are and you're accepting them and bringing them into your circle, then not only are you okay with it, you are rewarding it.
Right. From a brand management perspective, if you fail to do your due diligence and you pretend, I didn't know that this was going on online, and you end up associating with someone widely known for online harassment, is the reputational damage essentially the same? Or are people going to buy that they just didn't do their homework and they don't know that these people are so hateful about the royal family?
You can't buy that in 2026. It's like on Love Island when someone gets cast on the show and then 2 weeks later someone finds out that they did
Horrible
a reel where they
video.
said the N-word, right?
Yeah.
And this happens every season. How can the casting team actually say that they weren't able, like what, a fan has PI powers that, investigative powers, they're like Inspector Gadget, but the casting team didn't? You have to have, if you're a public figure, you need to have someone on your team 24/7, making sure that you're never collaborating with anyone that is problematic in the past, now or in the past. And if you choose to do that, then that's a choice. You're choosing to collaborate with someone who has said bad things, who has acted problematically. You can't do both. You can't choose to be with that person and then play dumb, unless it truly was a hidden artifact. But if it's online, it's online.
Oh, I mean, it's like a string accusing Catherine's mother of being drunk, accusing Prince William of having
I
an
don't even
affair
know
with
who you're
Princess
talking
Beatrice.
about, but now I want to know. But you'll
I
tell
know.
me later, maybe.
Well, I mean, this is the second time this has happened in the last few weeks, because there's a TikTok creator that just attacks the Princess of Wales, and Meghan sent him a $300 as ever never gift basket.
Oh, F that.
Oh, I know. And so I'm like, this is a pattern, guys. You can't play dumb at this point. It's a total pattern.
That's insane.
It is insane. I want to ask you two more questions before I let you go. There was a time when Harry and Meghan were the biggest story in Hollywood. Do they still have that kind of star power, or have they become just another celebrity couple?
I don't personally think they have as much star power, because in my own experience, I'm not fascinated by it as I used to be. It feels like the Blake and Ryan of the royal family, basically. It's oversaturated. We were getting so much. I mean, my People magazine alerts are 24/7 about Harry, Meghan, and the royal family. It's like constant, 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 constant. But I don't think it's as interesting to
You're
me.
not clicking on them. Yeah.
No, because it's more of the same, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like they're doing anything so fascinating anymore.
Right. And Hollywood is built on relationships. Looking at the people who were once in Harry and Meghan's orbit, do they still seem to have the same level of industry support? Where's Oprah? Where's Tyler Perry? Where's Gayle King? It doesn't feel like their old cheerleaders are still singing their praise from the mountaintops anymore.
I know. You have to wonder what's really going on behind the scenes there. Like, are they all really close and then we just don't know about it because they're not public about it? Do they talk crap about each other? Did they like, erase their phone numbers? I always find that so interesting when you see these like celebrity connections that just kind of fall apart. And I always wonder, but usually if if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it usually is a duck. And if Meghan was smart, she would collaborate again with some of those big names to kind of get in their circle, because if you already had Oprah and that world. But I just, to me, I don't, it's kind of like when the way I look at it is like the most fascinating friendship breakup ever was when Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos stopped being friends with Jerry Seinfeld and Jessica Seinfeld, and they were besties, like with Howard Stern and Beth Stern, and the three couples were always together. And then all of a sudden, Kelly Ripa and Jessica Seinfeld like stopped following each other on Instagram, never posted each other again, and I'm like, who slept with who? Like, I want to know. This is what keeps me up at night.
Right.
So if you stop posting about people, if you stop talking or sharing their stuff, if you stop interviewing them, in this case, they all have interview shows, it's usually a sign.
Yeah, right. And Tyler Perry has like one of the biggest production companies in the country.
Why is there no deal there?
Yeah, why is Meghan not making cameos in Tyler Perry movies? By the way, I love them. Like, if there's a new Medea movie out, I'm in the front freaking row. I love Medea movies. So it's like that. It's true. Like that there are signs there. But now I've got to go Google the Seinfeld thing because I'm fascinated by it.
No, it's literally the biggest blind item. Like, I have no idea. I have no idea what could have caused the drama, but I have a feeling someone hit on someone or.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. All right.
I
Anything
know.
else you want to promote before I let you go?
No, just my show 5 days a week. I talk about a little bit of Harry and Meghan when there's a good story, when there's an interesting story, but I leave that mostly to you. And then I talk about all the other celebrity drama.
Also, you do a lot of really good true crime stuff.
Love true crime.
Where's Nancy Guthrie, dude?
Story. That's ask Meghan. That's the one thing Meghan hasn't talked about. Let's ask Meghan.
Meghan Markle, who is an expert on everything.
She should do a true crime documentary on Nancy Guthrie. Maybe that's her next spot.
That may be. I mean, I have never in my life been so obsessed with a missing person. It's just like, how does somebody that is in the do you think somebody took her because of her relationship with her daughter?
Well, according to the ransom letter, it said, "Hi, Savannah, like, we have your mother," so it does feel like a connection. But when I tell you, Kinsey, like, I love puzzles. I love true crime. I watch all the documentaries. I follow all the cases, and no one that I follow that is in this world understands this one.
No.
That's why I know something feels shady and off. When nothing makes sense, you have to question what you don't know.
Oh my gosh, so true. Well, I will continue to follow your coverage on that because you are the only person I'm following about that case. All right.
Thank you.
Daily Dose of Dana on YouTube. I'm going to tag you down below. And I'm so grateful for your time today and for you sharing your insight with us about what's really going on in Hollywood. Because I'm just a girl, I'm just one woman. And so now I got some backup. So thanks so much for sharing what you know. And I look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Anytime, Kinsey. I love being on your show.
All right. Agree with us, disagree with us. Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.